Street Fighter II. It was a huge deal. Obviously, we all know that. We don't need to go over the history too much, but came out in the arcades in 1991. And then the first port to consoles, the first home port, was the Super Nintendo the following year. So 1992, pretty big deal. I think a year later Mortal Kombat came out, and those came out pretty quickly on all the consoles, including the Game Boy. I think the Game Boy version of Mortal Kombat did come out in 1993. And here's Street Fighter II on the Game Boy. For the longest time, I didn't even know this existed. Literally, I had no idea. I had never seen this or heard of this back in the day. It was pretty recently a coworker was talking about it, and I was like, wait, what? He's got it. So he was talking about it, and he was talking about how it has Super Game Boy support, and lately I've been looking into Game Boy games that have Super Game Boy, good Super Game Boy support that goes above and beyond. And I think this is one of those games. There's a different border for every stage, for every character's stage, even the boss fights. So you got a lot of different borders, and you can do 2-player, which is pretty cool. I've heard of that before, but normally with the Game Boy, right? It's not going to be 2-player, not simultaneously. So, normally you would need 2 Game Boys, 2 copies of the game, and then you'd have a link cable, and each person would have their own Game Boy. But with the Super Game Boy, there's a few games where it makes sense, where it's a fighting game, and you're both going to be seeing the same screen at the same time. Then you can just do 2 players with 2 Super Nintendo controllers. It's kind of cool, but it's kind of weird at the same time. I mean, we can play Street Fighter II on the Super Nintendo, but we're not going to play the Super Nintendo version. We're not going to play that fancy 16-bit version. Oh no, we're going to play the 8-bit Game Boy version, and we can even do it 2-player with 2 Super Nintendo controllers. They really wanted you to play this Game Boy black and white 4-color 8-bit version of Street Fighter II on the Super Nintendo. And here we are. Did I even mention the blabbering on? I don't think I mentioned this game didn't come out until 1995. That's why I never heard of it. That's why it went under my radar. Again, I had no idea this existed on the Game Boy until just a few years ago. It's because it didn't come out until 1995. It's years after Mortal Kombat was already on the Game Boy. Mortal Kombat II was already out on the Game Boy when this came out. And again, Street Fighter II by that point was old news. That was 1992 that came out on the Super Nintendo. It's still pretty cool though, and it's pretty cool that they went above and beyond on the Game Boy, the Super Game Boy Color support. The game, I would say it looks and it sounds good. I would say it looks good. It sounds great. The music, when you're playing it on a Super Nintendo, on your stereo system, it might not sound amazing, but when you're just playing this on the Game Boy, and the sound's coming out of that little mono Game Boy speaker, I actually think the music sounds really good. I think they did a great job converting the music to the 8-bit Game Boy. And honestly, the sprites look pretty good. So yeah, it looks and plays pretty good. Sorry, it looks and sounds pretty good. It plays alright at best. The controls are a little slow. Kind of hard to pull off some of the moves because everything's kind of delayed. Yeah, it looks and sounds good. It plays okay at best. But you know what? If this had to come out a few years earlier, if this had to come out before Mortal Kombat on the Game Boy, if this had to come out in 1992, late 1992 or early 1993, as a handheld version of Street Fighter II, well, it sure beats those Tiger Electronics versions, doesn't it? It's not that bad. It would have been pretty acceptable for what it is, if it had just came out a few years earlier, it was really just way too late to the party. Again, by 1995, yeah, not very many people were interested. I don't think it sold very well. I've never seen a copy in the wild to purchase. If I ever do, I will. This is definitely one I got my eyes out for. I offered my coworker if I could buy it off him, and he said no. But yeah, if I ever see it and it's a decent price, I'll pick it up. But yeah, I don't even know what it goes for. But it's definitely not common. And yeah, that's Street Fighter II for the Game Boy.